Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to the GreeninMED project. This is our final event, international pitching session. I'm very happy to see everybody here. I am Professor Sphiner from Kinneret Academic College. We're one of the partners in this project. And also, we have a guest here today from France and from Spain, and I hope we'll have a very interesting day. I'm sure we have, and I will give the stage to my partner, Clive Lipchin from Arava Institute. Clive, stage is yours.
Thank you, Ram, and I also want to just extend a very warm welcome to everybody, especially our guests that came in from yesterday from Spain and France. So, as Ram said, this is our final conference, which includes opportunity for a number of SMEs to pitch their technologies in water and energy. The main objective of the GreeninMED program, firstly, it is supported by the European Union program called Cross-Border Cooperation in the Mediterranean. And the whole idea of this program is to promote a collaboration between Mediterranean countries in the European Union with neighboring countries in the Mediterranean. In this case, Israel, of course, which represents the Eastern Mediterranean. The main idea behind GreeninMED is to look at water and energy in terms of how it is used and its impact in the hotel and hospitality industry. And why is this important? Because the Mediterranean is one of the most highly sought after and attractive areas for tourism around the world. Every summer, hundreds and thousands of tourists descend on many areas around the Mediterranean for tourism. But the challenge that the tourism industry is facing specifically in this area is the Mediterranean, for example, is an area with growing water scarcity and energy challenges. And of course, this is the last thing that tourists think about when they come to places like Cyprus or Malta or the south of Spain or Israel. They're there to enjoy themselves. And so the problem that the hotel industry faces is how to encourage efficiencies. Water consumption in the vacation periods can double, triple, and this is creating huge challenges in an area that is rapidly facing water scarcity challenges and energy. So our project was to see how we can promote efficiencies in this sector by bringing different companies, ideas, innovation, creativity through a partnership with Spain, France, and Israel. So it's been a long road for us. The project began before the pandemic, but very quickly with the pandemic, of course, everybody, of course, was affected, but we were especially affected because, of course, the tourism sector completely and utterly shut down for over a year. And so for us, this was a very challenging time for us, how to keep the momentum in the project going when the last thing on people's minds in the hotel industry was any kind of efficiencies. They were just trying to survive. So it was a challenging time for us, but we successfully overcame it. And we are very pleased to see how things have, the level of achievements we've achieved in terms of the way in which this project has supported SMEs. And we've done it in a number of ways, consulting, what we call innovation vouchers, in offering subgrants to help companies with some seed funding, whether it was to help them further develop prototypes or to help them develop pilot projects to further the technology. And of course, what we're doing today is offering the stage to companies from Israel, Spain, and France to pitch their ideas and to see if they can get some traction with investors in terms of their pitching. So it's again a great honor for me to welcome everybody. It's important to me just to say one other thing, because this project would never have succeeded in the way that it has if it weren't for two very important people, and I want to acknowledge them, and that is Valerie from Kinneret College, and my colleague from the Arava, Ellen. We are very indebted and very grateful to both of them for all the hard work that they've done. And believe me, they've worked extremely hard to make everything work so well today. I also want to acknowledge Ram from Kinneret College, Carmen and Raquel from the Madrid Chamber, who is the project manager, and our partners from France, from Capsules, and everybody, welcome. I'm now going to turn it over to our guest from the delegation of the European Union to Israel, Andrea Carginani Di Novoli. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, but we're very pleased to have somebody who's representing the European Union here in Israel to say a few words. After Andrea, there's a slight change in the schedule. We're going to start then with the pitching rounds. And after the pitching rounds, we will have our keynote speaker give a talk as well. So Andrea, please, thank you.
So hi everybody, thank you very much for inviting me. My colleagues prepared some notes, but I'm not going to read the notes because this is extremely boring and something has already been said, that something will be said about this project. So I'm not an expert in this field. What are we doing here? I represent the European Union. We have an office, an embassy in Tel Aviv, and I'm the head of research and innovation. So this is extremely relevant for us because many of the pitched, let's say, technologies are part of our portfolio. What is our objective? European Union now has a big flagship, that is the European Green Deal. European Green Deal is to reach some objectives within 2030, 2050. What is important for us? In order to reach these objectives, we have a number of instrument measures and also funding opportunities. Now, these funding opportunities are not only for European Union member states, as you can see. So this project is exactly what we aim to do in the Mediterranean areas, to bring countries across the two shores of the Mediterranean, not only to develop together technologies in order to face the big challenges. And the big challenge here we are talking is the climate change, obviously. Climate change is affecting our life, is affecting tourism. So I think practical technologies, innovation, breakthrough innovation is key in order to limit those challenges in water, in energy. European Union has a series of programs. This is one of the programs, CBC. Then there will be the next MED, Interreg, with 250 million in order to have projects bringing together partners across the two shores of the Mediterranean. So there are 8 European countries and 7 non-European countries that could be part of this. So I'm very curious to hear about what has been developed in this project. I know the pandemic has hit us the climate change, and this combination has been a major burden or an obstacle. But I'm happy that you managed, because this is the final conference, meaning that you managed to do something. I was talking before with some of the members of this project, and I want to mention that good opportunities in green technologies, funding for green technologies, and opportunity for partnership are also under Horizon Europe. Horizon Europe is this big research innovation program. Israel is one of the countries associated. Israel has been very successful across these 26 years, and there are many, many calls in water management, in energy, in many of the sectors that are relevant for this project. So I invite you, your organization, Arava, but also other organizations, to look at the work program to see whether you can create partnership in these fields and develop projects and bid in order to have funding and also equity opportunity in this field. So with these words, I wish you a very good conference. I think this will be extremely fruitful, and happy to hear from you. Thank you a lot. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you for those words. And I just want to add, I strongly encourage everybody, the opportunities for funding in the EU are huge. It's not easy to get funding. As Andrea mentioned, it all depends on building partnerships. But I strongly encourage you to take a look at the RFPs that are coming out. There are huge opportunities for expanding your work through those programs. So we're going to begin now with the pitching rounds. We have 8 companies, again, representing Israel, Spain, and France. Remember that each pitch, you have 5 minutes. Normally, you should have less than 5 minutes, but we were being somewhat gracious by giving you 5 minutes. But you need to make sure that you are keeping on that time. We have the order as follows. So I'm going to start off and call for Biocastle from Gabby to begin. Okay. You're gonna do the timing? The timing? No, the timing. Okay, Gabby, you ready?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for inviting me. And I want to start off by introducing the place I live, Biocastle City. A wonderful place to live. I invite you all to come. We moved there about 20 years ago. We were about 100,000 people. And now I have 5 kids, a wife and a dog, and they all grew up. And now we need to build. Hello? We need to build another community because people want to move in. As you can see, all our sewage goes into the wastewater treatment facility of the town. But now we're at full capacity, and the authorities won't let us build another community in our town. So what do? Building such a thing will cost a lot of money. It will take a lot of time. The landscape that we need is large. And you can just imagine all the environmental impact that it will have if we need to build another facility like that. I mean, I go on the street every morning and we go by our wastewater treatment facility and we can all smell it. So another one of those? And that's why we came up with Biocastle. See, this is what a wastewater treatment facility would normally look like. And this is the Biocastle wastewater treatment facility. What this does is it enhances the growth of bacteria. We took the bacteria, put it in our capsule, and we add the capsules into the existing facility so we don't have to build anything more. What we'll do is we'll add perforated cages. We'll add the amount of capsules we need into the perforated cages and put them into the water. And in that way, we can add easily another 10% capacity in order to build our town that we need to build. The only operational activity that we'll have is to add new capsules every other month. That's it. No capital, no building, no land, nothing. By doing so, we can add an extra 10 to 15% capacity to any wastewater treatment facility, which is sanitary and in any municipal. And on an industrial level, we can save 70% on their capex. Why is that? Because in an industrial facility, we don't need all the operations. Usually, the facilities that you see have different elements inside. In a food and beverage facility, we may only need to do a biological treatment, and we can do it all in one chamber, which saves a lot of money. And as you can see here, it's perfect for food services, resorts, and off-grid locations, can work seasonal, changes the world for tourism, hotel resorts, and the such. We have a lot of case studies that we've done and proof of concepts, and both in sanitary and in industrial wastewater treatment facilities. We've worked for years in the food and beverage services. So Our largest client today is Tnuva, the biggest dairy company in Israel. We also work in the United States and in Peru, and we're starting to get out there in many other countries such as Italy. We have a granted patent, and we have 2 on the way, 20 peer-reviewed articles, and we work with many academic institutes such as Tel Aviv University, Ariel University, and we have 2 daughter companies, one in aquaculture and one for soil bioremediation. As you see, it's through Horizon 2020 with a consortium. This is our patent and our team. I have to say a word about our team. Dr. Ophir Menashe is a faculty member at Kinneret College. He's a microbiologist and teaches water industry. A brilliant person, a great guy, and there are many people here that will join me in my compliments. And as you see here, we have an extensive advisory board as well. So I hope I stood by my 5 minutes. Thank you very much for your attention. And you can take a picture of that QR so that you can contact me later. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Gabi. Next, we have from Spain, Bioscore. Erica, please.
Thank you. Hello everyone. Good morning, everyone. We are today at a crucial moment for our planet. On one side, we have global frameworks like the 2030 agenda that demands sustainability actions. And on the other side, we have for tourism sectors, we have increasingly informed customers and more demanding. So we need to do something with the tourism and accommodation sector as well. What is Bioscore? Bioscore is a platform dedicated to certification and consulting services for accommodations, and we own a simple and secure management software. We want to promote sustainable practices, so we are able to offer our clients the option to choose environmental responsible accommodations. We have a global presence. We have more than 36,000 accommodation rated worldwide and 700, 800 certified accommodation mainly in Spain today. Our clients range from hotel chains, every type of accommodation and campground as well. What do they have in common? They aim to demonstrate their commitment to sustainability, maybe to the stakeholders or to their clients as well. Our services for accommodations range from certification strategy, ESG strategy, sustainability reports, sustainability memorandum based on GRI indicators, but also consumption management softwares, emission calculator, and water calculations. We want to help our clients to communicate their strategies and their action also. So we partner up with top OTA, online travel agency in the sector, for example, booking.com. And we provide those OTAs with our score rating about sustainability of the properties. How we do this, we give them our big data that we gather from the sustainability test they need to pass to get certified by us. We also partner up with a lot of hotel association and destination, mainly in Spain in this very moment. So again, we provide them with big data about the sustainability levels of their accommodation, their partners, so that they are able to focus on initiatives and strategies, middle and long term, for the sustainability of the destination. About consumption, we found that there is a common need for improvement in consumption monitoring, for example, in Spain. So this is why we put at our client disposal a whole consumption management module, so that we can grant our clients a comprehensive control on their consumption again, so they can make informed decision about costs and operations. We want to develop and make alliances with energy, and water companies, and we want to connect with them through APIs. We are planning this. The objective of this connection is to access real-time and accurate information about the consumption of the properties, and we are able to provide testing environment also for them about consumption and about how they can combine their consumptions and their sustainability strategy. The objective is again to reduce cost and control operations. The ultimate goal is profitability for them as well. Why not making prediction based on data? We want also to embrace AI in the future. So we want to mix our big data that we gather through those tests that we provide them with AI, and again, same goal: reduce cost and improve operations and profitability. That is extremely important for accommodation today. So at the end, why partnership with us? Because our commitment to sustainability drives efficiency, profitability, and environmental responsibility. We think the Bioscore is the right partner for shaping a more sustainable sector, industry, and tourism, regenerative, not only responsible. So that's it. Choose Bioscore, and let's create a regenerative sector altogether. Thank you.
Thank you, Erica. Okay, so next we have from France, Value Park. Quentin, please.
Hi everyone, thank you for being here. My name is Quentin Bessod. During this speech, I will present to you Value Park Company, what we do, our main project, and then an application to the tourism sector in Israel. So, as we all aware, we are facing environmental issues through climate changes. For example, by the end of 2050, air conditioning will be the first greenhouse gas emitter of the world. And so we have to rethink our way to produce and consume energies. So Value Park offers a portfolio of technologies to produce continuous renewable, sustainable and decarbonate energies using marine energies. So the first of those technology is SWAC, for seawater air conditioning, and it's a way to produce air conditioning with natural cold deep sea water. Typically, we can use it for hostel installation, cruise ships, hospitals, etc. The second technology is OTEC, for ocean thermal energy conversion, and it's a way to produce continuous electricity using the difference of temperature between cold deep sea water and warm surface sea water. And then the third technology is SAWEM. It's an autonomous seawater cooling system to cool data centers or parametric processes. And it's a combination of a SWAC and an OTEC. And for all those technologies, we can second use of the discharge water to do aquafarming, agriculture, drinking water. So our main project is called the SWAC of the CHU Sud. In fact, this is the most powerful SWAC of the world and the first SWAC of the Indian Ocean. So it is on the Reunion Island, on the south of the island. It supplies an hospital with air conditioning using deep sea water, 1,000 meter deep water, through 8 kilometer pipes. So this project, it's a very innovative project because of its economical model. In fact, the client, so the hospital, is buying the consumed air conditioning all year during 30 years through a contract, and so Value Park is making the financial package to find public subsidies and private subsidies. So today, Value Park managed to have all permit authorization and public subsidies, but still needs some private investors to close the financial package. And so we are accepting a commissioning by the end of 2026. So we do a little application of our of SWAG technology in the Israeli context and tourism context. So as we know, tourism is a climate change vector because hotels are great air conditioning customer. What we have to know is that a third of the electric consumption of hotels are just used for chillers, so that produce air conditionings. And so with the SWAG technology, we can replace those chillers and make great economy by saving energies. We can make 90% of economic saving because our product is 10 times more efficient than classic chillers. And the only request we have is that the client, so an hostel or a network of hostel resorts, for example, are less than 1 kilometer from the coast. And it's many plug and play system, so you don't have to do construction to the client. And so we can also have a local food network with aqua farming or drinking water, for example. So thank you, everyone. I'm be glad to answer to your question later. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so moving right along. Next is a green slide from Israel. Daniel?
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I have a question to you. How many disposable plastic and paper cups do you think are thrown away every single month all over the world? Let me show you. Unfortunately, 50 billion cups are disposed monthly, and they caused enormous damage to our planet. Those cups market estimated $11.6 billion a year. The European Union, as you know, banned the use of disposable plastic and paper cups, but now they use posable cups. And they are not 100% eco-friendly, and they cost 5 times more than the regular disposable cups. I'm Daniel, the founder and the CEO of GreenSlide company. And we have developed a comprehensive, eco-friendly, and cost-effective solution to the problem of disposable plastic and paper cups. In our research, we have found that the most common use of those cups is in the public, business, and accommodation sectors. Our solution is a complete package. Includes branded reusable cups, and unique herbal soap, and a device that's going to clean and sterilize up to 15 cups in completely automatic process. Just set it and forget it. Each cup will be cleaned and sterilized in just 15 seconds. In the exit sleeve, always been waiting available drinking cups for reuse. Our solution can save thousands of dollars to the companies, and we can save about 50% of the water and the energy consumption comparing to the modern dishwasher in the market. The global market potential is huge. The small medium businesses, we're going to start in the Israel, then we're going to penetrate to Europe with the help of distributors, and then Australia, we're going to sell our product when the regulation is valid either. Right now we have a working prototype, and we are running a pilot in Tel Aviv, in office in Tel Aviv. And we've got LOI from big companies, and we tailored our solution by their needs. Our financial model, it's like HP model. We're going to make money on the machine, and we're going to make profit from the complementary product as the soap, and as the branded reusable cups. This is our team. Experienced engineers with background of developing product from A to Z, and expert in the climate world. Right now, GreenSlide fundraising, and we want to get entered to the huge market, $11.6 billion, and to save hundreds of thousands of dollars to the companies, and to save the big amount of waste of paper, plastic, energy, and water, and make from it a lot of money. If you want to be part of this amazing thing, please contact us. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.
Thank you, Daniel. Okay, so we're halfway through. We have 4 more companies to go. So next is also from France, please. Insitu-systems, Jean-Francois.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to be here in front of you in Tel Aviv. Quite anxious because my English is not so good. My name is Jean-François Guillet-Lermide. Sorry for that. Most of my friends call me Jeff. It's okay. I am co-founder and COO, and our company was founded in 2021 in south of France. No surprise, I'm going to talk about water and energy. Taking a point of view, the projections on digital water and smart energy speak for themselves. Big, significant amount and significant growth. The fact is, monitoring is a necessity, but it's complex to work it out. It requires some skills, some time, and a lot of resources to integrate the various components as embedded software, services, training, maintenance. If we take a closer look in this market of excluded structure, it's quite significant. Like urban communities, small urban communities, campings, hotel, and even private individuals. So at this point, I would like to talk about my friend, my partner, and the CEO of our company, Peter Colon. During 10 years, he was a deputy director and technical director in an electronic design office and manufacturer. In 2021, he was the one who made the observation about these excluded structures. And he decided to add IoT and cloud computing to the electronic. So he managed to bring together 6 other people of charge in communication, marketing, design aspect, and technical skill to fully master the entire IoT system chain. And 2 years later, this team was able to secure a strong support. We obtained 100,000 euro grants. The first one was the French Tech, and the last one was GREENinMED. That's why I'm here, and thank you for that. We make together 3 usage innovation to create our product. The result is the user simply choose is off-the-shelf kit according to his need, from pumping station or a borehole, and even a home of particular individual. And he installs his product whatever he wants in less than 30 minutes. And after just simply connecting the interface with his product code, and he can see his installation on a map thanks to geolocation, and among a previous installation. And you can see his installation and the data he returns. Is there a secret? Of course. The first secret is a significant development work. And after we use several technology to create our product. The Edge AE to pre-analysis on the field, cloud computing to data analysis, and predictive maintenance, and 3G, 4G, and SAT communication with ultra low power to make all terrains, to put in all terrains. So we are in prototyping phase. We already have 3 demonstrators on 3 different pilot sites, and each provide us with most interesting information. Sorry. We are preparing. We are aiming to commercialization in fourth quarter 2023, and we are preparing our working capital need for industrialization in 2024. And to accelerate the development, we are looking for loan equation between bank and subside of 300,000 euro. We will offer two proposals, and we hope it will work and interest. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your advice.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so next up we have Tigi Solar from Israel, Tzvika.
Thank you. Hi. Hello, my name is Tzvika Clear. I'm CEO of Tigi. My background is in high tech. I started an activity that turned into a Nasdaq traded company in telecommunications, and then was CEO of a company doing 3D cameras, which I sold to Microsoft. But I joined Cleantech, and what we do is we develop and make heat systems that generate and store renewable heat energy for large heat users, especially industrial and commercial, including hotels, etc. So we all hear about renewable energy all the time, but mostly we hear about renewable electricity. And it's important to note that only 20% of the world's energy is electric. Approximately 30% is transportation related, but 50% of the world's end use of energy is heat. And only 10% of that is done with renewables. The rest is primarily done by burning of fossil fuels. The first few segments that we're going after can enable savings of $100 billion a year of fossil fuels. That's a huge opportunity. In fact, the opportunity is now, because what happened after Russia invaded the Ukraine created a landslide, starting from the cost of gas going up, lack of availability, that drove regulations, subsidies, etc. The market that we used to look at, which moved slowly, there's now hundreds of thousands, we believe, of factories that already made a decision to move away from gas. The same is true for hotels, etc. So it is really happening right now. Imagine a hotel or a hospital. What we do is we developed a new type of solar thermal collector. It's extremely efficient, and it doesn't only supply water at 40, 50 degrees Celsius, which we are familiar with for showers. Instead of it does up to 100 degrees Celsius. We build large arrays, and we optimize them with thermal storage. Thermal storage keeps the heat generated during the daytime when the sun is there, or at other times, and used whenever needed. In addition, we integrate other heat sources. we can use waste heat from the hotel or the factory, but we also integrated heat pumps. Heat pumps have gone a long way over the past couple of years. Instead of only doing 65, 70 degrees Celsius, they now happily do 150, 160 degrees Celsius and can be integrated into many processes that were not possible in the past. Thermal storage is extremely important when using heat pumps because the electricity has a different cost at different times. Sometimes because there's a lot of PV available, or just because of peak and off-peak hours. All of this is centrally managed and has cloud services which can optimize the energy generation with storage, with maintenance and other things that are needed. On top of that, we innovate in the business model. So instead of only selling heat systems, we also finance heat systems. This is very usual for, let's say, PV or for wind, but it's not the usual case for heat. We are happy to put in place the system and sell the heat, providing the user with immediate savings and lower emissions. We have put in place about 40 systems today. This is industrial and commercial systems beyond the pilot projects. And you can see some of the names. They include factories, but also hotels and hospitals and elderly people homes and army bases, etc., etc. For the hotel or tourism industry, this is primarily about large showers. It's about kitchens. It's about laundry and all of these things. This is an example of a system that we just supplied in March. It is in the United States, in California. It is a factory. You can see large storage over there. The benefit for the customer is they're getting a 40% discount as compared to gas in the US from day one. And we finance it through a bank. Obviously, I'm done. Obviously, what's really important here is we reduce scope 1 emissions, which are usually the hardest to get rid of. This is the emissions that you generate on site. So to finalize, the time is now. The issues related to renewable heat are probably going to pick up and be one of the largest. We are looking to run faster. So we are looking for partnerships. We're looking for further investment. And as I mentioned, there's $100 billion a year of gas that can be saved. That's a huge opportunity. Thank you very much.
Okay, we got 2 more, so hopefully everybody is still with us. So next from Spain is Europe Membrane. Alvaro, please.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Arava, and I come on behalf of the company Europe Membrane. We are a Spanish company dedicated to wastewater treatment, and we have using MBR technology. This is membrane bioreactor. We have been implementing MBR solutions in the industrial sector for more than 15 years, and we have developed an adaptation for the tourism sector. The solution of wastewater treatment we have named Enable Plan, and it has a number of competitive advantages. The first one is that 98% of wastewater generated in, for example, other rooms or cruise ships can be reused, both for subsequent use or for another type of use. Also, in addition, the operational costs of this technology are very low, reaching figures into 1 to 3 cents per guest. Acquiring this type of technology is very viable, and it's in the range on 300 to 600 per guest. And all of this is possible thanks to a standard and plug-and-play solution that offers a contact solutions in which we can reduce the space required in between 12 and 72 square meters. But what are our differentiating elements? So we have the only one membrane in the market with a pore size of 0.02 microns. It provides high quality water. Also, our membrane cassette is the only one that offers an horizontal arrangement of the membranes. It facilitates the generation of water with a small pore size. And finally, how we have said, our plug-and-plug design offers a compact, customizable, transportable, and completely self-contained solution. With all of these, what do we offer and what do we need? So we offer a fully developed and test solution in the industrial sector for more than 15 years and ready for use. We offer a team of specialists with more than 20 years in the MBR technology, and we offer a high added value solution. On the other hand, what do you need? So we need partners or investments that allow us to access to the different markets in which this technology is required, and also to do another step in this project and technology. This is all, and you have an example for our containers. And I will finish this presentation to thank you for listening to me and to show our technology here. It has been a pleasure, and thank you very much.
Okay, so we have one more pitch, and then we're going to ask our keynote speaker, Mr. Eli Cohen, to say a few words. So we have OASIX, Yoni.
Hey. Okay, nice to meet you all. My name is Yoni Aran, CEO and co-founder of OASIX. I've been dealing with energy and infrastructure for the past 15 years as a businessman and entrepreneur. I founded a few companies, including one that was sold. But today I'm here to talk about my latest startup, about OASIX. So let's start. Have you ever dreamed of living in a beautiful house surrounded by water and trees where nature provides everything you need? Well, I have. And in recent years, I was involved in many projects with people who wanted to build a zero-carbon village, a sustainable hotel, or an eco-building. And here's what I learned. Building zero-carbon projects is very challenging. Why? Well, you need infrastructure connection for water, energy, and sewage, but sadly, it's also contributing up to 70% of residential emissions. To decarbonize, we must tackle these emissions. While there are great technologies for clean energy and for water and waste recycling, there isn't a single product that combines all of them into a complete zero-carbon solution. And so every project spends a lot of time to design and integrate its own custom solution. Infrastructure is not only polluting, but it's also very old and very vulnerable, slow, inefficient, and constantly delaying projects. It is clear that we need infrastructure innovation to support the zero-carbon future. OASIX developed a new model for infrastructure, a zero-carbon mobile unit that is easily deployed anywhere, providing everything you need for your zero-carbon projects. Heating and cooling, renewable gas for cooking, electricity, gray water recycling, and sewage treatment. Our self-sufficient system seamlessly connects to your buildings and autonomously recycles all water and waste streams in closed loop while drawing energy from multiple energy sources. This innovation saves a lot of time and a lot of money and creates endless opportunities in the real estate sector. And most importantly, it puts you in the 2050 climate goals now. So let's talk about our technology, patent pending. Our innovation lies in the field of multi-energy networks. we ask, how can we combine different energy sources to maximize synergy and co-benefits? And instead of integration, we're using proprietary algorithms to connect those different energy sources so they work as one holistic and circular network. So the inspiration is the oasis that sustains life in the desert in closed loop by circulating resources. So this innovation and this technology is scalable and is suitable for infrastructure systems of building, communities, and even entire cities. This is what makes our product very cost competitive. So we intend to sell these units to off-grid businesses such as eco hotels, glamping, camping sites, festivals, and outdoor events. There you see Burning Man. I was there in 2019. Everything is working on diesel generators over there. Yes, it's funny. So the off-grid market is quite big, actually, and underserved, and is growing constantly due to energy crises around the world and due to the boom in ecotourism. For new sites, OASIX can save months of waiting for infrastructure connection with decarbonized operation and lower cost. Our second goal is to power zero carbon buildings that are grid connected and are already required by regulations in New York City and other places. So our team is consisting of water and energy experts, including 3 PhDs with a lot of passion to this subject. And so far we managed to build our prototype, to complete our AI control software, and even signed an LOI with a client, an amazing restaurant in north of Israel that has also a glamping site. So we're now closing our round of investment of $2 million, and we're open for follow-up investment. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you. I want to congratulate all of the companies for the very inspiring, innovative and creative ideas, and I wish them all the best of luck in going on to the next stage. I'm very pleased and delighted to offer the opportunity for Mr. Eli Cohen to say a few words. Eli Cohen is the president of the Israel Hotels Association, and he was former general manager of Mekorot. Mekorot is Israel's national water utility, and also former manager of Ministry of Tourism. So more than qualified to say a few words about the role of water energy in the hotel industry. Thank you, Eli. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Yoni, you are not saving months; you are saving years, because it's years. And actually, speaking from above, by the way, in all my career, I preferred to work and deal with hotels. And since I was working with Mekorot after doing finance, aviation, and stuff like that, and ministries in the government, I fall in love in water. And the combination together of water and hotels is amazing for me. So thank you for inviting me for that. What we saw in the last 40 minutes, it's amazing. It's really amazing. And I think that if we were talking about these objects and subjects 2 years ago, 3 years ago, so it was something that we need to do for the environment, saving money and stuff like that. But today, it's become to be crucial, because looking at what is happening in Europe, not in Israel, because in Israel we saved the water problem, and we are sitting here in a location that is recycling 85% of the Israeli waste sewage. And Israel is actually working in a circular, amazing economy, because we are desalinating water from the Mediterranean Sea, and after 4 hours of desalination, the water are in the tap water in Ramallah and in Jerusalem today, and we can send the water also to the Sea of Galilee, where Jesus walked on the water. And because if we won't do that, so cause of the change of the climate, so in 50 years, between 50 years to 60 years from now, there is not going to be a Sea of Galilee. It's going to disappear. It's not like comparing to the Dead Sea, because it's hundreds of meters, so it will take the Dead Sea a lot of years to disappear, but the Sea of Galilee is going to disappear unless we are going to shift water to there, and that's what, by the way, the Israeli government decided 5 years ago that we are going to have the ability to shift desalinated water to the Sea of Galilee. So it's a circular economy. So we are drinking the water, and after 72 hours, the water are coming to this location, and they are feeding the agriculture that we are eating, and by the way, selling to Europe. But 3 years ago, I will tell you that in 20 years from now, so Europe is going to face the problems that Israel is facing now. But it happened last summer in Europe. There was a crisis of water in Spain, in France, in Norway. In England, there was lack of water in some of the hotels. By the way, the British government is going to change their regulation regarding to water use till this year. So these things that we saw now are crucial. What we need to see more than that is that we need to see the treatment of organic waste, which is going together with electricity, wastewater, water, and organic waste. It's a combination of things that are going together because they are dealing with all the issues of ITOT, AMI, and stuff like that. Those who are coming from the field, they probably know it. And the most difficult problem that Yoni and other friends here are facing is the fact that it's hard to combine and get into the big companies and fight against the big giants who are taking care of these fields of water, electricity, usually are coming from Europe, by the way, and they are not letting any kind of innovation to get into, because the situation for them is very good for now, because they are making a lot of money out of our problems. So in my new hat in the hotel, so I'm going to support you, okay, for the beginning. So everything that we can do in the hotel association, including the Israeli hotels chains and small hotels, so we are going to do it. We are going to let you use almost everything that we can in order to help you. Next step, we are building it now, but it's premature for now. We are going to support also with money, but it's not for now. There is a lot of money, by the way, for these fields. You need this one. The 10 coming years there is a lot of deep pockets. I know it from other things that I'm doing now, and people are willing to pay a lot of money in order to give solution to these kind of things. And it's not only problems that are dealing with Africa and India. It's reached the United States of America and Europe. So we are here for you, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Eli, for those words. So we're going to take a quick break. It'll be an opportunity for everybody to further engage with the companies that presented. So this is your opportunity to make connections and to network. So we'll take about 40-45 minutes for conversation, networking, coffee, and so on. And we will... where's my... Sorry. Let's make sure we have the time correct here. So we're doing very good on time. It's 10 to 11. So at about 11:30 or so, we'll gather again, and we will have a talk from Eytan Levy, who is one of the owners of Levy Ventures, and also has worked with two very important water companies here in Israel, AqWise and Fluence. So please, time for some break and conversation, and we'll reconvene back here, please, at 11:30. Thank you. Okay, thank you, everybody. So we're going to hear now from Eytan Levy, who represents Levy Ventures, but was a founder and former CEO of two very well-known water and wastewater companies here in Israel called AqWise and Fluence, both very successful in Israel and around the world. So Eytan is going to speak to us and give us some insights, especially for those that were pitching and can learn from some of his valuable expertise. After Eytan talks, we have a short film that we want to show you that represents some of the sub-grantees that were supported by GREENinMED. And we'll update you after that. So Eytan, please.
Thank you, Clive. Thank you. So I was asked to talk a little bit about entrepreneurship and some ideas and the directions for the young and the more experienced entrepreneurs here in the room. I hope that I will be able to bring some added value to any of the audience. So I will talk about Climatech entrepreneurship and the path to hopefully a successful venture, which is not promised. Let's start with the need, and I'll focus here mainly on water and wastewater treatment, but the need is generally about Climatech. So there is a significant increase in the consumption of water worldwide. If we look at the demand from the beginning of the 18th century to the demand of water today, it was increased about 6 times. And we can see where the increase is in terms of agricultural use, municipal and industrial. It's growing everywhere. And on the other hand, there is an extremely significant decrease in the availability of water. If we cover, if we try to put a belt around where the stressed areas are located, and I haven't covered everything, but it's significantly this belt, which are areas with a high rate of tourism. So there's a lot of touristic areas starting here in Cancun and the Caribbean and Spain and Italy and France, India, China, all are suffering from extremely high water stress. And it's expected that by the year 2050, 45% of the world population will suffer from a chronic short of water. So we see that the demand is increasing, as we saw 600% increase in the demand, which is still increasing. The supply is reducing, and it becomes a severe problem. And this chart is a result of a project by NASA that tracked the changes in the available water in the world. And we see in many places how the available water significantly was reduced during the 15 years that this tracking operation was done. So there are many reasons pushing this gap between the available supply and the needed supply. It's population growth, urbanization, climate changes. The water supplies are limited, and the only way to fix it is by technological change. Only technology can bridge this gap of scarcity of water. And us gathering here and talking about the technologies is exactly this additional way that we have here to try to balance the equation. I'll start maybe with the sad news that it's not so easy to bring a technology to the market, as many of you that did it know just as well as me. We start with the innovators, those engineers in companies or in municipalities that like new technologies and say, well, you can have a pilot here, I will help you. And then early adopters, sometimes family and friends, sometimes innovative companies that say, well, we can have a pilot here, it's fine, go ahead. And you think that everything goes well. But then you fall into the chasm, because when you reach to the main market, to the early majority, their requests are different. They are not your friends. They are not necessarily wanting to help you. And it becomes a significant difficulty. And many companies fall into this pit of the chasm and never come back. Here, this chart shows a combination of the famous chasm by Moore that was initially published in the 80s. And on top of it, the green line is the behavior from the investor side. So the investors see a company with a great hype, and the hype keeps increasing as they announce another LOI, another pilot with a large company, and it looks like the future is all ahead. And then there is a peak of inflated expectations at the top. I'm trying to run the laser, but it doesn't work. And then there is disillusionment. It's not as good as we thought. It's not going to change the world. Welcome to reality. And then there is again the slope of an enlightenment that we're coming back to life. So this is a typical behavior of both the market and the investor side. And there was a research that was done recently by Paul O'Callaghan. He owns a research company, and he did it as part of his PhD in Wageningen University in the Netherlands. He is an Irish guy. That he measured about 120 water startup companies and tried to put some numbers on it. So first of all, in terms of market deployments, the innovators, early adopters, early majority are split here by percentage. But most important is the timeline above, which shows that innovation takes about 8 years. 5 to 8 years is the innovation stage. I mean, reaching this chasm happens about 6 to 8 years. And then the early adopters is within this 8 years. And the early and late majority, which is the range which is after the chasm, happens after 20 to 16 years, typically 14 years. So companies in the water, at least, in the water space, it takes 14 years to reach a break-even, to reach profitability. Not good news to those that are trying to work in this space. I did it twice. I was young when I started, and it really took the time. Although I thought that maybe I can do some shortcuts, it takes time. So if you go along the famous entrepreneurial process, starting with the idea on top, establishing a company, building a prototype, hiring a team, develop a beta product, all this process takes typically 5 years until the company is stabilized and raise some capital. But the real road to success goes through many disappointments and many obstacles. It's not what we thought. It's not working. We ran out of money. Some key employees left the company. The customers are disappointed. We need to remove the pilot from one of the customers. The idea that we thought is very attractive found to be very difficult, and so on. A patent was attacked by a competitor. Too many stories to talk about, but after the depression, if the founders are persistent enough, and after the self-doubt, you start to see achievements, and there's a motivation boost and optimization of the product, and then hopefully I wish you all success. And during this process, the company goes through different phases of development. We start with R&D. Most of the early stage companies, the focus is on R&D, on technology. And R&D is the most important, and the CTO is the king, and we're all talking about R&D, technology. And then we come to commercialization, which requires different skills. It's no longer a genius CTO. It's an engineer that does day-to-day work. And then rapid growth, which requires different skills of production, logistics, packing, service, customer support, and so on. Again, different skill set. And maturity, which is the boring part. I mean, the company is stabilized, profitable, shareholders, profits, dividends, and so on. But this is the real world. But as the company is moving from one phase to another, it requires a change in the leadership approach, in the structure of the company, in the talent mix, in the business processes, in the systems. It's like a new company every phase. It's not the same company. The very talented entrepreneur that started the company as the CEO and knows to do everything. He knows sales, he knows marketing, he knows R&D, he knows business, he knows how to raise funds. Suddenly he becomes just a CEO of a large company with legal advisors and CFO and the customer relations and operations. and there's no, he feels bored, he feels that it is unnecessary, and if we look at this, I'm not going to go through the whole table, but it shows the changes in the goals of the company, in the nature of the problem, in the conflicts that are happening, in the talent need, and so on, the structure. You know, we start with a very flat structure. There is a CEO with 5 employees. It's all friendly. There is no organizational structure. Everyone reports to everyone. Everyone does everything. The CEO cleans the toilets, and the CTO prepares lunch, and everyone does everything. But then it becomes a structural organization with departments, with meetings. Half of the time is spent on meetings, and it becomes boring, I would say. I put it on a what I call a bagel model of how this change in the activity of the company happens as the company moves from one stage to another. It starts, as I mentioned, with R&D technology, and the CTO is the king. The CTO does everything. The investors want to hear from the CTO how the R&D progresses, how the company is moving, what about the patents. Everything is around R&D. Sales, marketing, operations are not so significant in this stage. It's all about technology. When I took it one step further, to start with this phase where the company starts selling, R&D is no longer so important. There's still some R&D, but it's not the peak activity anymore. Operations becomes very important. Sales, of course. Without sales, there's no company. Marketing, thinking about strategy and so on. And aside the CEO, there are additional functions like CFO, CTO, legal, HR. And this change represents this change of talents. And many people that were very good in this stage are no longer good in the other stage. And it requires to say hello to some of the good friends that we started the company together. It creates conflicts. It happens in every company, but that's life. But I think that the most important part is really the go-to-market. And companies collapse, and startups are shutting down because of the failure in the go-to-market. I mean, the R&D is fine. We reach to a product. There is a product ready to sell. But what we do now? And what we saw in the chasm chart, as we see here, happens here. We start with the innovators, with the early adopters, and we need to jump on this gap in order not to fall into the chasm. These are the mainstream customers. We want to be here. But we can't sell. It was easy with the friends and the family, with the companies that are near us, with the friends that we know. But when it comes to the main market, it doesn't work. So we need to expand the marketing base. We need to broaden the toolbox. We need to intensify the sales efforts to hire more people. As a result, we now have a sales team, not just one salesman or the CEO that did the sales. So everything goes slower. We cannot predict the revenue plans. There are many opportunities. The funnel gets longer and longer, but we don't know who will order, if at all, when. The cost of goods increases because we build some production facilities and we have some stocks. Of course, the sales and the G&A expenses become very high relative to the sales. The sales are not there yet. And as a result, there is a pressure by the investors, by the board, by the company itself. Well, it doesn't work. We need to reduce costs because we are running out of cash. We have money just for 6 months or 4 months, and if we don't reduce the expenses, we're going to shut down very soon. So it becomes a cycle. Okay, so we fire 2 salesmen, we reduce the stocks, we do less marketing, we don't go to exhibitions that we plan to go, and so on. We reduce the cost, but then we don't sell, so we need to increase again. And this is a vicious cycle. And the only solution to avoid it is to focus on a beachhead market. It's called the beachhead strategy. And I think that this forum is very suitable for this because tourism, hotels, can be a very suitable beachhead market for many new technologies if the focus is being done precisely enough. So this is a customer segment that has a pressing need, that specifically need this technology, this solution that we bring, and they have a lot of gain from deploying this technology. So if we try to characterize this market segment, there's some social or professional association, like the Association of Hotels in Israel that Eli Cohen that was here represents. It's very important that they have conferences when they can tell each other what's going on, what's new, we deployed this energy efficiency technology and it saved us 20%, you should go for it, for example. They should have a pressing problem. We always need a champion, so we need to identify a champion. We need to be profitable because we need to make money, so it must be a place where they make money so we can make money. It needs to be fast to revenue. So if it requires a tendering process of 5 years, it's not suitable. We want to sell fast within 6 months or so. And we want to be able to leverage it to the main market. So we define this set of requirements from segments. And we made a list of segments. I'm talking about companies that I led and I went through this process of picking the beachhead strategy. And we thought, for example, this was a technology for energy efficient wastewater treatment technology for small communities with a very high effluent quality, with nitrogen removal and so on. So we decided to focus on several segments, to evaluate several segments, like mining camps in North America in cold weather, hotels and resorts in the Caribbean with less than 500 rooms, country clubs with a golf course adjacent to the country club, and resorts and hotels in the south of France where there's a groundwater sensitivity. And based on the list of criteria that I mentioned earlier, and the list of segments that we collected from talking with people, from internet search and so on, we built this table. We gave a weight for each of the parameters, a cohesive market with a pressing need, what the best fitting solution, time to revenue is short, what is the price of failure? I mean, if we fail, are we gone worldwide or just lost one segment? Available partners in this segment, market size, we don't want it to be a big market size, we want to be leaders in this market, it doesn't need to be large. And we gave a grade for each segment based on phone calls and meetings that we had with customers from those segments. And we put the results on charts like we see here. And then the final grade, in our case, showed that Caribbean hotels and resorts had the highest score because they dump the wastewater into the shore, the coast, where people are paying $500 a night for a room and then they are bathing in their wastewater. They don't have electricity. They should inject it. They dump it deep, but yet there is an effect if it's a bay. The electricity prices are very high in the Caribbean. They don't have large power stations. They're using diesel generators even in the large islands. They do need nitrogen removal to avoid eutrophication. So there are many reasons why it is a good market segment. And we picked this segment. And the next phase after picking a segment is to go and verify that this indeed is the right choice, and what's called the voice of the customer. And when you think about a tour in the Caribbean, you think about sandy shores with coconut trees and so on. My experience from this trip in the Caribbean was just rusty wastewater treatment facilities in the backyard of those fancy hotels. But it was a very good trip because it led me to the conclusion that the selection of this segment was wrong, was incorrect. It was based on previous years. Well, we did it in 2009. 2009. And there was a recession in the US following the financial crisis of 2007, 2008. And tourism to the Caribbean dropped significantly, and it didn't have money to invest, and we're not in the mood to invest in new facilities. But anyway, we moved to another markets, to villages in China. In China at this time, there was a new 5-year plan that called to install wastewater treatment facilities in villages in China, and there are 140,000 villages in China. So we went there big time, and it was extremely successful. There are currently about 1,000 installations in villages in China from this technology, following a market research. So we picked the market, we want to move on. There is the MRR process, the market readiness review. Are we really ready to move on to the market? Can we manufacture what we want to sell? Do we know how to sell? Is there a process to prepare a quotation? Is there a bid, no bid process within the company? Can we install and serve what we are selling? Do we know how to issue a letter of credit to the customer? Do we have a template for a contract with the customer? All those preparations are very important to do as fast as possible, because otherwise, while you are in a sales process and you want to close it fast, you realize in fact you don't have a contract. Do we need an NDA or we don't need an NDA with the customer? Do we have stock of raw materials? Can we manufacture 20 units as we need for this customer? Or in fact, we can only manufacture 5, maybe we're not ready yet. It's better to evaluate it in advance. And as you see, it's a long list of activities that needs to be done in advance. So after talking about some theory and what needs to be done, I'll take you with pictures. So to a journey of a few activities we did, starting with AqWise. AqWise is a company I founded in the year 2000 with my partner, Ronan Schechter. Today it has over 500 installations in 50 countries. And the beginning was, of course, difficult. The technology was MBBR, moving bed biofilm reactor. Those are plastic particles that are a habitat or a house for bacteria that are growing inside. It enables to increase the active bacterial population that does the biological treatment in wastewater treatment facilities. And it enables to increase capacity of existing plants or to do a very efficient biological process. So going through the same entrepreneurial process of small pilots, larger pilots, alpha site, beta site. Result was a process simulation software and patents. This process took about 2 years, burned about $2 million. And this was the result. Showing some pictures of the process. In this stage, really, you act like partisans in the forest. You do whatever needs to be done. So one of the guys was a scuba diver, so he could dive and see what's happening underneath the water to verify the hydraulic simulations that we did. And then we built the beta site, which is for us like a huge progress, not in the lab, but now in the field. And it was January 14th, 2001, we turned on the valve first time with the wastewater coming to the beta site. And the result was very good. It operated well, and we felt ready to move on to the next stage to start presenting it to the market. IFAT exhibition, as some of you maybe know, in Munich is one of the leading exhibitions for environmental technologies, and we thought it's a good opportunity to launch the technology in the IFAT exhibition. A small booth, but attracted a lot of attention because we managed to have this dynamic demonstration of the plastic in different colors moving inside the water. It was attractive. And it attracted a lot of attention, and we felt that we are now in the innovator stage. We start to gain customers for the new technologies, the new technology. And many installations started to come afterwards. All of them, as you can see, are small pilots inside marine containers. This one was in a pig farm in Israel. This one was in a municipal wastewater treatment plant, in Intel Semiconductors, in Teva Pharmaceuticals, in Biogal Pharmaceuticals in Hungary, and so on. And as a result of the exhibition, the US Filter, that at that time was the largest wastewater treatment company in the world, or based in the US, later on they were acquired by Veolia, and then by Siemens, became Siemens Water, and then Evoqua, and then it was acquired by Suez, which was acquired now by Veolia. But they wanted the license for the technology in the US, and we thought that the US market is so expensive to penetrate and so promising and large that it's a good opportunity to give them a license. And the next phase, they thought very big, and they wanted to make a very big demonstration plant in the US in order to move on. And we were sure that it's going to take us really across the chasm, because such a big installation in a full-scale municipal plant in the US is a great opportunity. But in fact, the effect was opposite. We fell very deep into the chasm because there were technological problems here. The scale up was much more than what we study at school. I'm chemical engineers. I guess there are more chemical engineers here. Do not scale up more than 10 times in every stage. And this was a scale up of about 200 times in capacity, in size, in flow, in all the parameters. And it really failed because we had those barriers that you can see here that were supposed to hold the plastic carriers from escaping with the water. They were slightly formed, though, so the viscosity, the density was much lighter than water. And as the water were going down in this barrier, the plastic carriers were supposed to be held and retained in the basin. But it wasn't so accurate because it wasn't completely uniform, the flow of the air underneath it, and the result was a terrible contamination of the river nearby with plastic carriers, and we need to remove it and to pay compensation, and we didn't have money, and we wanted to raise capital, and our plans for raising the next round were based on this success, but it became a failure, and that's why we fell so deep into the chasm. But persistence and luck, we found an investor that enabled us to move on, and we started to have many installations in many different places. This one is in Switzerland. This one is in a fish farm in Israel. We found a niche in paper recycling facilities in Italy. So one after one, we had several installations and so on. I ran faster, but this was really crossing the chasm, and we reached to the early majority market, to the main market, and this enabled to move on and to further grow the company. This is a large municipal plant that we built in Israel from scratch, and we were the owners and the operators for several years. Here we see the big day of throwing the plastic carriers into the basin. And it was a good example. This is a very good, a very large project in Mexico, 60,000 cubic meters per day, working day and night. So this was already a complexity of operations of about 100 employees that worked in the site in California in a short, in Mexico in a short time schedule, and the big day again. And this is how it was ended up very successfully until today. And in parallel to this development, we also did a lot of marketing activities, a lot of exhibitions and seminars and customer visits, reaching to an exhibition like this with just a mobile exhibition booth, and arranging some media, some coverage. That's how we made a lot of noise, and we called it a moving circus. The circus were moving from one town to another exhibition, with our simple demonstration tools. And I run faster, but I guess that all of you went through it, meeting customers, expanding the market, expanding the name. I remember that I was Googling the name AqWise every week and see, starting with 7 results, 20 results, 50 results. Today, I think that there are some 100 million results, maybe more. So it became a successful and stable company. Today, they were recently, a few years ago, they were acquired by GS, and they are part of the GS group of companies. The name was established and was well covered, and I will move on. The next venture was Fluence. The battery is dead, I think. Okay. Live again. So Fluence was founded in 2008. Starting the company, the name was MFC, and it was based on microbial fuel cell, MFC, that bacteria that generate electricity as they treat the wastewater. But eventually, due to complexity and the capital and time required for the R&D, we moved to another product, which was a subcomponent of the MFC, which was MABR, membrane aerated biofilm reactor. for decentralized wastewater treatment. And currently the company raised by today about $120 million. We took the company public in the Australian Stock Exchange. We acquired, after the IPO, we acquired a large company in our space, RWL Water, and we merged the two companies into one. So now it's a large company selling over $100 million a year. I'm no longer managing the group. I left it about 4 or 5 years ago, and I started my own business of investing in water companies and moving them on. But as you can see, the large offering of different systems, large global presence, package units which are based on the MABR technology for different types. So just to finish, what we learned, or what I learned from this entrepreneurial process. First of all, startup is not only technology. It's engineering, marketing, operations, production, logistics, legal, business modeling, all the internal activities of the process. So when thinking about, I want to establish a startup company, I want to develop a technology, there are many technologies out there. The difficulty is one step after the technology, all the other activities, and an entrepreneur must take in account all the boring activities of production, service, logistics, and so on. Funding is the key. As every good entrepreneur knows, he must spend at least half of his time running after investors. Investments are the key. Without money, without fuel in the car doesn't move. So keep an eye all the time about when you need to have the next round. Round takes about a year, so you have to start it a year before. And it's very critical, otherwise the company again will just will not move. And persistence and adherence to the plan are important, but there are so many unexpected, so many bumps are happening on the way, and the company must be flexible to have a plan, but to be flexible for changes. And most important is really the people. When you say, this is a good company, this is a bad company. What is the difference between a good company and a bad company? The offices, the name, the patents? No, it's the people. A good company is a company with good people, and a bad company is a company with people that are not so capable. So people are making the difference, and a team of excellent people that trust each other, that work as a team, that are capable, is the key to success. And I spent a lot of time on every hire because I knew how critical it is, and I spent much more than what a CEO would spend, at least initially, when raising the first 30 people, when hiring the first 30 people to the company, because I knew that this is the family that I'm going to make the company with. So this is something that cannot be compromised on, the quality of the staff. So that's the few pennies that I could give. I hope it was helpful, and thank you for the time.
Okay, I want to give a big thank you to Eytan. I think he's presented us a lot of thought-provoking ideas, but also a reality check. And I think we need that, when we're sort of down in the trenches, we sometimes need to come up for air and get that dose of reality as well. So thank you, very much appreciated. So what we're going to do now is we're going to show a short film clips of some of the subgrantees that received support from the GREENinMED. So we're going to do that now. And I'm not sure what's happening afterwards. Where's Ellen? Okay, anyway, let's start with a movie. Yeah, Ellen's here. Okay.
ענף התיירות הינו ענף משמעותי ביותר בכלכלה העולמית. לפני הפנדמיה, תנועת התיירים בעולם הגיעה ל-1.5 ביליון איש בשנה, וההכנסות העולמיות מתיירות היו כ-1.5 טריליון דולר בשנה. כ10% מאוכלוסיית העולם מתפרנסים מענף התיירות. טביעת הרגל הסביבתית של ענף התיירות העולמי הינה גדולה ביותר. פרויקט GREENinMED של האיחוד האירופי תומך ביזמים המפתחים טכנולוגיות ושירותים להפחתת צריכת המים והאנרגיה בענף התיירות, במטרה למצוא פתרונות בני קיימא ולצמצם את טביעת כף הרגל הסביבתית של הענף.
OASIX הוא תשתית ניידת שהיא self-sufficient, שהיא מקיימת את עצמה. בעצם היא מספקת את כל צורכי הקיום הבסיסיים, מים, אנרגיה וביוב במעגל סגור. מחברים אותה למבנים המרכזיים, לשירותים, למקלחת, למטבח, והיא מנהלת במעגל סגור את כל הזרמים השונים של המים, המים האפורים, הביוב, החום והקור וגז הבישול, בצורה האופטימלית ביותר. בעצם המערכת יכולה לעבוד כל השנה רק על אנרגיות מתחדשות, היא יודעת לאגור אנרגיה בדרכים שהן לא רק סוללות ליתיום, אלא בדרכים שונות שהן יותר sustainable ויותר זולות. ובעצם טביעת הרגל הפחמנית של התשתית הזאת היא 0. בהמשך הטכנולוגיה הזאת תוכל לאפשר לכל בניין גם כן, גם אם הוא גבוה להפוך להיות עצמאי אנרגטית, self-sufficient ומאופס מבחינת פליטות. ובשלב הבא והאחרון זה ערים שלמות שיכולות לעבור את התהליך הזה בצורה הרבה יותר מהירה והרבה יותר יעילה.
הפטנט שלנו זה אגרו-וולטאי מנותק מהקרקע, והבאנו את זה למקום שהכי צריך, את החשמל ואת האוכל, שזה על גגות העיר.
4 אלמנטים שאנחנו משלבים בגג הם, קודם כל, מערכת הידרופונית, מותאמת לבתי מלון עם תו תקן כשרות ואפילו פטור משנת שמיטה, שזה מאוד משמעותי. מעל אנחנו שמים בעצם פאנלים. אנחנו בחרנו להוסיף לא פאנל רגיל, אלא פאנל שגם מחמם מים, וגם מייצר חשמל באותו פאנל. הפאנל הזה בעצם מתחבר למערכת חימום המים הנוכחית, ומפחית את חשבון החימום של מים חמים שצורכים בבתי מלון, למקלחות, למטבחים, או לכל שימוש אחר, בין 60 ל-70%. החשמל עצמו, זה בעצם האלמנט השלישי, כאשר יש פה עוד דבר. בשלב ב' אנחנו מתעתדים להקים מערכת שתדע לנתב את החשמל, בין אם לצריכה עצמית לדברים שאנחנו רוצים, או למחירה לרשת. מה שאנחנו רוצים לקחת זה את החשמל, ולאגור אותו, ולהטעין באמצעותו מכוניות חשמליות שיתופיות. המשמעות של המערכת הזאת היא שאנחנו פותחים שוק חדש לגגות.
מה שמערכת CCS עושה בראש ובראשונה היא משווה מבחינה אקלומית את הטמפרטורות בין הרצפה לתקרה. מכיוון שיש לנו הפרשים לפעמים בין 3 עד 7 מעלות בין אותה רצפה לבין התקרה. ולכן אנחנו גם גורמים בעצם באמצעות מערכת CCS צמצום בהפעלת המדחס, שהוא למעשה 85% מהאנרגיה הנצרכת של מערכת מיזוג אוויר. עניין זיהום האוויר ואיכות האוויר, אנחנו רואים שינויים משמעותיים כשהמערכת עובדת ברמות של עשרות אחוזים, ירידה ב-CO2, ירידה במזהמים מרחפים, ירידה בגזים רעילים, לעומת מערכת שלא עבדה.
המוצר תכלס הוא בעצם דשבורד חדש, איזשהו מוסך שליטה חדש, שבו נוכל במבט אחד לראות גם בכסף וגם במשאבי אנרגיה מהו היעד והאם הצלחנו לעמוד בו. אם אין לנו איזשהו דשבורד שאנחנו יכולים לראות משוב, אז אף אחד במלון לא יודע באמת מה צריכת חשמל היום. המטרה שלנו להגיע למצב שבו נקטין את הוצאות החשמל ללקוח ב10%, כדי לצמצם רק את צריכת הרפאים בלי לפגוע בחוויית הלקוח במלון.
באמצעות מענק
שקיבלנו מתוכנית GREENinMED מטעם האיחוד האירופי, פיתחנו אב טיפוס ראשוני לחיסכון במים, שמתאים גם לעיריות, למתנסים, וכמובן לתעשיית המלונאות, שהינה תעשייה שצורכת מים בצורה לא מבוטלת. חשבנו על חוויית לקוח שמשתמש, שנכנס או לחדר או לצימר, הוא מכניס את הכרטיס לחדר, נדלקים האורות, וגם נפתח שיבר מים חשמלי ביחידה מרוחקת. הוא יוצא מהחדר, הוא מוציא את הכרטיס, ושיבר חשמלי שמותקן כיחידה מרוחקת נסגר. הפתרון שלנו בעצם הוא פיתוח של אותה חומרה של השיבר החשמלי יחד עם מערכת שיודעת לקבל את האותות ולשדר את האותות ואת צריכת המים החוצה. במידה ויש חדרים שהם סגורים, שהם לא מופעלים, השיבר חשמלי סגור, ולכן גם אם יש נזילה יכול להיגרם נזק לאותו החדר, זה לא יקרה בגלל שאין זרימת מים.
המערכת שאנחנו רואים כאן בנמל יפו של חברת AqWise Power היא מערכת בהספק מותקן של 100 קילוואט. 100 קילוואט מספיק בערך ל-60 עד 100 משקי בית. זאת פעם ראשונה בהיסטוריה של מדינת ישראל שבתים באזור נמל יפו וגם חלק מהעסקים בנמל עצמו יוכלו בעצם להפעיל טלוויזיה, מכונת כביסה או מוצרי חשמל אחרים עם אנרגיה ירוקה שמגיעה כולה מן הגלים של הים. העבודה עם GREENinMED סייעה לנו רבות, היא עזרה לנו לפתח ולשדרג מערכת אוטומציה ייחודית אשר תשודר על מסכים ייעודיים שיהיו ברחבי נמל יפו. במסכים הללו ניתן יהיה לראות מידע לגבי החשמל המיוצר מתחנת הכוח, מידע לגבי גובה הגלים ומידע כללי שמסביר כיצד ניתן להפיק חשמל מהגלים של הים.
השוק העולמי מגלגל כ-11.6 מיליארד דולר מדי שנה רק על כוסות חד פעמי, והנזק האקולוגי שהן גורמות הוא עצום. הפתרון שלנו הוא בעצם מעטפת שלמה. החל מכוסות רב פעמיות ממותגות לפי לוגו וסלוגן הלקוח, תואמות שתייה חמה וקרה, ומכשיר שיודע לעשות להם ניקוי וסטריליזציה מלאה תוך 15 שניות בלבד, סבון 100% מהצומח, מינימום מים ואנרגיה, והוא יכול להכיל עד כ-15 כוסות ברצף באופן אוטומטי לחלוטין.
לכל יזם יש עשרות רעיונות במגירה, וצריכים להגיע למצב שבו מישהו שם קול קורא ואומר, בואו, תרגשו אותנו, תביאו לנו בלוח זמנים קצר תוצאות.
המענק דחף אותנו למעשה להגיע לתוצאה ולתהליכים שהוא הגדיר מראש, וזה היה יפה מאוד.
נתנו לנו חותמת שהמערכת שלנו היא טובה, שהיא נכונה, שאנחנו הולכים בכיוון הנכון. תמיד טוב לקבל עוד חוות דעת חיצונית. ודבר שני, המענק הכספי עזר לנו להוציא את הדבר הזה לפועל בצורה הכי מקצועית, בלי לוותר על כל מיני פיצ'רים שרצינו.
התוכנית GREENinMED בעצם עזרה לי להוציא את כל הרעיון הזה לפועל. משלב ה-POC, שזה Proof of Concept, הוכחת ההיתכנות, הגענו למכשיר שהוא אף טיפוס עובד וכרגע מותקן לפיילוט במשרדים.
אין ספק שהמימון מטעם GREENinMED סייע מאוד לפתח את המוצר, ובעצם אם הוא לא היה קיים, גם המוצר לא היה קיים.
And again, we wish you all the luck that you need to get over that chasm that Eytan mentioned, but you know, every little bit helps. So we look forward to following your progress. So we're very lucky now to have Inbar. Inbar is Inbar Blum from the Israel Innovation Authority to give a few words. And this is another very important player, which is where the government can also provide support for these kinds of developments. So thank you, Inbar.
Thank you so much. So first of all, it's great to see familiar faces and familiar entrepreneurs here that don't give up. So great to see you all. Actually, we just published our report today in the morning. Did anyone have a chance to see it already? Not yet. Oh, you did. Great. So I will show some of the the interesting, for us, our, ecological and sustainable people, what interests me, I believe it interests you as well. So first of all, what do we do in the Israel Innovation Authority? We have two legs, okay? One is investing, okay? We want to invest in innovative technologies, and the second is facilitating in places where we see that there is barriers. It could be regulatory barriers or any barrier there is. We want to be there as well and help the government, okay, and facilitate these barriers. For example, we have the drone project, the national drone project, where we are also helping companies to, to build an ecosystem in the sky. So this is an example where we help the companies and also a new regulatory initiative. So we know that the high tech, it's the engine of Israel, 16.5% of the GDP, 54% of the Israeli exports. But we also know, okay, all of us know that there is also a very, very big problem, okay, in the world. And if we want to get to net zero by 2050, we need to make a change. And in order to make that change, we need technologies. And in order to have these technologies, we need to invest. And the Israel Innovation Authority wants to be exactly in these fields of places and technological innovation that will help to get to net zero at 2050. And we can do it. Why can we do it? Why can we be, in the forefront of the climate tech innovation? So we know this is what is a climate tech. I think we all know it. What we've seen I've seen in the video all of the technologies. So there is construction, water, energy, transportation, agricultural, food. And here, this is just from today. We've seen that 40% of the climate tech companies are in the field of energy and food tech. There is a total of 516 companies, okay, and it's growing, and we want to be part of this growth and your growth. Moreover, we can see the number of companies, how it's doubling up, and we want to see it, okay? We are here to invest in the companies of climate tech. We want to see you, okay? For example, next week, I'm going to open a call for proposals with the Environment Ministry and also with the Energy Ministry, and we're just waiting for good projects, okay? And good pilots to try out. And why are we positioned so well? Okay, so of course the Machon Arava is here, so we know that there is different geographic climate zones. Okay, that's great. We have great great research. For example, I'm a water engineer. I studied in the Technion. And we have great, there is Kinneret. Kinneret is also for water engineers, and a lot of startups in climate tech startups. We also have a national plan, okay, where we invested money in the government, not only the Israel Innovation Authority, but all of the ministries, in order to go through the way and help the ecosystem. And in the Innovation Authority, we are helping everyone, okay? For example, you're researchers, so we have money for applied research. We're even, we really want also to share knowledge, and we're doing it by communities, okay? We have the EnergyCom community, for example, and Water Edge, okay? In order to connect the dots and connect the knowledge. With international activities, and Asaf Aaron from Eastern is here and will speak later about it. Asaf, hello. Human capital, we have a special track 44, in order for engineers to learn more about climate tech and then be in the field, okay? For example, there is a mechanical engineer or an electrical engineer who wants to get in the field. He needs to know a little to learn a little bit, more about the Climatech and what needs to be done. And we are giving money also to human capital and pilots. Okay, that's my baby. The pilot program. Once you have a technology that is mature and you want to try it out, we have money for that, and we've seen that this stage, okay, it's very, very critical, because if you don't try it out your technology, you cannot prove that it's working, right? And then it's like the egg and the chicken, yeah, exactly. So this is why we are here, and we are also giving money to that stage. Okay, and for all the important entrepreneurs, if you can dream it, you can do it. I think all of us here in Israel have like a small wish to be also an entrepreneur and has an idea. And I'm very proud of you that you are already doing it and achieving it. I hope one day I will have the courage to do it as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have Asaf Arod, who also represents a very important organization to help support Israeli technologies, and this is ISERD, which is the Israel Innovation Authority. And a big thing that ISERD does is to help us understand and to navigate opportunities with respect to the European Union funding. So, Asaf, thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. My name is Asaf, as mentioned here, and I work for ISERD, which is the Israeli European R&D Directorate. We're basically the representative of Horizon Europe, what used to be Horizon 2020, and I think this project, this whole thing is because of it, is from Horizon 2020, the program that was before Horizon Europe. I'm basically doing the thematic areas of energy, climate, environment, water, soil, and it sort of like falls between what I do. We have in ISERD what we call NCPs, national contact points, that represent each and every topic, and that's how we're divided. What's ISERD do? Basically, there are two challenges. I'm sorry that I haven't prepared something, but because it was kind of like a last minute. But what we do, we recognize two challenges. One is finding the right call for proposal, and the other one is finding partners. Because there it is. Okay. So basically, the first slide basically shows what's important for me to know to anyone, and it's something you can find on our website, because we make this kind of leaflets for every different destination, every group of calls. So this one is, for example, is for land, ocean, and water for climate action. It is open to apply and submit a proposal by February 2024. It sounds far, but when we're dealing with the consortia, you need to get ready in advance. That's how the Europeans work, and you need to write a proposal. It started writing for partners now. We used to have it in English, but we understood that our crowd, even if they know English, they still need to read it in Hebrew sometimes. So a little bit about the program. What's Horizon Europe? Similar to Horizon 2020. It's one of the biggest research and innovation programs in the world. It's approximately 95.5 billion euros for 7 years. And a lot of it is for what we call Pillar 2, which are all consortia calls. What do you get? You can get up between 70 to 100% funding with plus 25 overhead. It depends on the type of project and depends on the type of an entity. And any entity can apply. It has to be at least 3, and one of them it has to be from a European Union member state. So, and as I said, you have to apply in a consortia, meaning a consortia, you have to have somebody that coordinates that, and you need to have at least 3 partners. So what do? You need to look for a call for proposal. You can find me afterwards. I'll give you my email, or you can, or I'll send you the link for where we put those goals. If you look in the European Union website, you'll find a PDF of 500 pages. So we took it and break it down to those leaflets. They're 2 to 3 pages with just titles and important information. We also help you with looking up for partners. It is a big challenge. I don't have any magic. I wish I had a list of all coordinators looking for partners, but it's not the way it works. So we do our best, and there are a few ways to do it. It also requires work from your side. And then writing a proposal. And for that, each of the companies that were here is eligible to apply to Track 37 that the Israel Innovation Authority offer that give you 75% of what you put into using a consultant or looking for partners, up to 40,000 shekels if you're a partner. If you're a coordinator, up to 80%, up to 80,000 shekels, 75%. And that's it. And of course, look me up, and I'll do my best to help. Thank you.
Thank you, Asaf. I strongly encourage people to seek out Asaf. We've Arava have had our own experience and successes with receiving EU grants, not just the one of GREENinMED, but others as well. And you can't do it alone. So the support that ISOD offers is really important, especially if it's going to be the first time that you're going to look into this. I strongly encourage you to make support of take advantage of the support that's being offered. So we're getting close to the end, but we now have the opportunity to present to you some of the conclusions of our project, of our GREENinMED project. And these conclusions were written up in a policy paper that was coordinated by our French partners, Cap Energy, and we're very pleased to have Elisa here to present some of the conclusions. Thank you.
So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Elisa. I'm replacing Eloise Delcini that worked on the project. She's deeply sorry she could not come, but you have me instead. She's following out online. So hello, Eloise, if you see us. If you have questions, do not hesitate to contact her. Her contact will be at the end of the presentation. So, as I said, my name is Elisa Seda. I'm working at Cap Energy, one of the partners in the GREENinMED project. I have the pleasure to present to you the important guideline towards more sustainable tourism in the Med area. But before, I would like to take a few minutes to talk about Cap Energy, how we fit into the project, as some of you might not know us. So, Cap Energy, we are the largest French cluster dedicated to energy transition. Our network and our offices are situated in Regional Sud in Aix-en-Provence near Marseille. And we have the chance to work with more than 500 members that are all involved in the energy transition. They're energy specialists from major groups like EDF or NG, or even SMEs or startups like the one present with us today, so Value Park and Insitu-systems. Cap Energy, we aim to support innovation and growth among the stakeholders and therefore bridge the gap between the private sector and the financial actors, but also the public authorities, strategies, and the competence of research centers. We work at a regional, national, and international level through European projects, among other opportunities. So for just one slide to show you the energy sector that we cover for the next few years. So you have hydrogen, energy efficiency in buildings, mobility, decarbonation of industry, etc. You see all of it on the screen. And this last slide, just quickly to demonstrate our financial support, and then I will pass directly to the subject today, the project. So one of the major thematic in the Med era is tourism. And obviously we work on sustainability and energy for what KPMG and our consortium is concerned. So for the guidelines, the GREENinMED project was funded by the ENI CBC Med program, and it was a great opportunity to first develop greater knowledge and concrete collaboration among the water, energy, and tourism sectors, and also support via direct coachings, meetings, and fundings, both innovative solutions providers and the accommodation facilities toward sustainability. So the document, the guidelines, was created to be a very practical guide aiming to help professionals dedicated to the tourism sector in the Euro-Mediterranean area. So our objectives for you are to first discover and capitalize on the lesson learned by the GREENinMED projects and beneficiaries, and also to support the comprehension and adoption of eco-innovations applied to water and energy in the tourism sector. So during 4 years, the GREENinMED consortium encouraged water, energy, and tourism specialists to work closely and on sustainability engagement. So through 4 work packages, so WP, as you see on the screen, we deployed very concrete actions that are listed here. So 25 information pills, survey among tourism establishments, 1 benchmark of energy and water solutions, 8 transnational workshops, 3 study visits, 31 innovation vouchers, 15 sub-grants, and 1 scale-up program with 3 transnational webinars, 3 national coaching sessions, and 3 national pitching sessions, including this event. So all this information are more developed and described in the guidelines. I encourage you to read them, and will be made available online for you to consult them very easily. So on the following slide, we give you some insight toward the global complete guideline that we try to summarize and make it more accessible by proposing 5 steps, a 5-steps guideline dedicated to each targeted stakeholders. Of course, when we talk about sustainable tourism, we would need the engagement of everyone, including the customers, and so we targeted the 3 main beneficiaries of this project as first solution providers, then tourism establishments, and also public authorities. So I chose some extracts for you today. So first, if you are a solution provider, do not hesitate to promote and use all communication specialists possible, including technical centers and clusters. These kind of actors can help you reach your actual target, that are hotels and campings, or even financial investors. Secondly, if you own tourism establishments, we know that one of the first steps to do is actually knowing your data. So proceed to an energy or water audit on your consumptions, dates, and on-site. Then you can take the best strategy and investment decisions to increase your efficiency and savings, depending on your individual situation. And yes, there is a public funding. There's public funding opportunities, and you will find them listed in the guidelines. So again, I encourage you to read them. If you are a public authority, you as well can play a major role in the actual adoption of solutions. Of course, we are concerned that you implement our recommendations in policies. You can also keep the benchmark on your staff desk to use it during your public future procurement. Adopting green eco-innovative solutions is also one way to support their development in your territory, and also in tourism facilities. In the guidelines, we obviously also found some major obstacles that remain to be tackled, like first of all, money, le nerf de la guerre, comme on dit en français. Smaller companies and establishments do not have many investment capacity to go further into their environment strategy. So we would encourage both sides to work together and propose demonstration partnerships like we did in the project. I think that worked very well. That means that a company can test its solutions inside the tourism facility. This collaboration is a win-win project, basically, from which everyone benefits. Also, you'll find in the guidelines that some of our best use cases, that means some highlighted examples that we met in France, Spain, and in Israel. Because of course we also have a lot of successful cases in our territories in terms of energy and water. And overall, keep in mind that 20 to 30% of savings can be achieved in the right solution if the right solutions are installed. I'll pass directly to my last slide. So that was, yes. Sorry. We identified some step-to-step recommendations and advice for you, because to do eco-friendly does not mean to take major changes. Sometimes to just be smart and sober with sobriety can help a lot. Think renovation when your equipment starts to malfunction, rather than paying a lot of maintenance and effort. Also, training or incentives is a key step for your staff and customers to engage in green behaviors. So one last word about Interreg program. We highly recommend to work together, of course, as we did during the project. There are projects coming ahead. We are currently waiting for new opportunities to collaborate with Israel, and more in the month and years to come to do so. So do not hesitate to contact us as your French energy specialist future partner. So thank you for listening to me today. I can take some questions, but I again encourage you to contact Eloise, that could not be here today. But she was managing the project, as I said, and the guys and the guidelines, so she would be very happy to answer you.
Okay, thank you. So we're getting close to the end. All that is left is just to give opportunity to our project lead, Carmen, to say a few words. Also, Ranan from our Israeli partner, Israel Water Association, will also say a few words. And Ram, do you want to say anything? And Ram will also say a few words. Okay, so please, Carmen, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you to you, Clive. Well, good afternoon to everyone, and thank you for being here. Since we are, as Clive said, close to the end, I won't be long, and I would like just to summarize my aims and achievements of the project of GREENinMED. GREENinMED, as you read here, I mean, the main aim of the project was to help SMEs to increase the efficiency and the savings in water and energy management. I see that, I don't know, no. With the partners, the key point of this project in relation with other projects is that we are not talking about basic innovation, but apply innovation on the one hand, and also the cross-border Mediterranean cooperations. Since the consortium should be taken or formed by the partners of at least 3 different countries, the cooperation and every activity has been developed on this cross-border approach, with this approach and this with this peer-to-peer learning. In this case, the lead applicant were the Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Services and Navigation of Spain, Cámara de Comercio de España, the surname, or CCI Spain. Also, as you have heard, the French partner, the Pôle de Compétitivité, Cap Énergie, and the 3 Israeli partners, ISWA, Israeli Water Association, the Arava Institute, and Kinneret College. Oops, I don't know. Something, yeah, it's coming. Yeah, so the project has two legs mainly. First of all, was to work with tourism facilities in order to help them to become more efficient. We prepared, as we mentioned before, some products. Mainly, we carried out 3 study visits in the 3 countries, in Israel, and in France and Spain. We had we hold meetings and contacts with different technology centers. In France, we also visited a smart hotel and other tourism facility, and Israel, some of great technological demonstrations. And also we organized these transnational workshops where all the partners had the opportunity to meet with SMEs in the 3 countries and to talk about water and energy technologies and new achievements with this cross-border approach. We also prepare, if something is happening here, it's not working. Maybe I'm not. Well, no. Yeah. We prepare the benchmark. This document is being prepared by Capsules and the 3 water experts about and compiling the 73 technologies based with this approach to help SMEs. So the benchmark is compiling the technologies from the basic one to the most complex ones. Each technology has this general description, the advantage and disadvantage in order to be undertaken by the SMEs, the potential use in the hotel industry, and also the performance, savings, and some reference. This is very useful for new SMEs. And also we publish, as we mentioned before, some information pills in order to provide with inspiring practices. Regarding the innovation vouchers, this is the first leg of the project, also with direct support to hotel SMEs. In France and in Spain, we have most of them family hotels. So we offered these hotels through a public call to get some innovation voucher. The voucher paid some advice provided by experts in energy or water consumption and try to help SMEs with smart solutions, easy solutions to become more efficient. The result of this activity was pretty good because most of, at least 53% of Israeli and Spanish SMEs declared that they expected to obtain more than 10% of energy savings in the energy consumption. And in the case of water, the 50% declare between 5 and 10% of savings in water consumption. In the case of France, the average expected energy savings was even higher, 20%. And regarding also the second leg of the project, not only the direct support to hotel facilities, hotel SMEs, but to innovation itself, we have been working, as you have heard today, about the subgrants we offer through a public call. And I don't know, now it's coming, yeah. We offer the subgrants through public calls in the 3 countries with the same conditions and particularly to startups. We offer each startup 25,000 euros to develop different solutions. In Spain, for instance, we have been working with some companies transferring solutions from the agriculture in the some water treatments with 2 marinas and other tourism sectors or appliances. And also we offer some coaching activities to startups and innovative companies in order to allow them or to support their growth. This final activity has been also one of these part of the GREENinMED components or activities to help innovation and the growth of SMEs. The final figures of the project are the following ones. Finally, so far, because probably we will have higher figures, But so far, we have helped the 160 SMEs, and more than 200 stakeholders have been involved in the project. We have distributed 31 innovation vouchers, 14 sub-grants in the 4 countries, 14 new innovative products and services have been developed, and 3 pitching rounds at both at national and cross-border level have been organized. And finally, as well, the representative of Cap Energy, this one document of guidelines with policy recommendations and conclusion has been prepared. So all the information can be found here at NSCV EU. This is the official website of the program, and with under related to the project GREENinMED. And thank you for everything. And well, you will have also here, you have our emails, just in case. I mean, Raquel Velasco, the coordinator of the project, and my colleague, and myself. You can't, if you want any additional information of the project, please do not hesitate to contact us. We'll be happy to answer. Thank you. But unfortunately, I mean, I'm afraid that this device is not helping me. No, the previous one, the previous slide. That one, no, the other one. I mean, no, that one. That one? Yeah, that one. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Carmen. I also just want to say, on behalf of all of us that worked on this project over the last 4 years, we couldn't have done it without Carmen and Raquel. As I said, it was a very challenging project, especially because of COVID, but we had a very good leadership, and thank you very much. Ram, you want to say a few words, please?
Thank you very much. First of all, thanks to the partners, to the Chamber of Commerce of Spain, which is much more than a Chamber of Commerce, Cap Energies, which we heard a lot about their activity, the Kinneret College, or much more than a college, research, lots of activity, and they're also heading the water technology community of Israel, and the Arava Institute, but between Arava Institute is Research and Implementation Institute of the most challenging in the desert. So thanks a lot. The Israel Water Association was established more than 20 years ago by Professor Avner Adin, who is here with us. And it was established to be primarily a framework for the whole complete Israeli water sector, to be an open platform for improving the Israeli water sector and presenting it in international activities. And this project is one of the ways that we could do it. Now, I want to mention 2 anecdotes, one about water and energy and one about technology. When we talk about the water energy nexus, of course, water is dependent on energy. If you're a city and we want to protect your water and wastewater, where would you put your emergency generators first? On water, right? That's what happened to a city in Wyoming. I'm making a long story short, where suddenly there was a sandstorm who knocked down the whole energy infrastructure. They immediately turned on the generators and started to supply water until they saw that the sewage is coming out of their pump stations and flooding the streets. They had obviously to immediately shut down the water supply and bring emergency water for drinking, for emergency needs, which showed them and the world how dependent water and wastewater are. Fortunately, in Israel, we have one authority dealing with both of them. Unfortunately, in many places in the world, these things are still separate. An anecdote about technology. A farmer had a saline well. He called the consultant and told him, please design a desalination system to desalinate by well. Did it solve his problem? Obviously, yes. Well, no. I'll give you a hint. This farmer was 20 kilometers away from the seashore. The reason his well was saline was because of seawater intrusion. If he were going to desalinate the well, he would actually have to pump more water, because part of it was going to be the concentrate, and for each 100 cubic meters of water, he would maybe need to pump 120, 30, depending on the system he used, and he would accelerate the salinization of the water. So this is just an anecdote. Technology is not always the solution for a water issue. So with this in mind, and I think everybody has had thoughts about lunch already, I thank you all for being here, and give the microphone to the next speaker.
Thanks, Ronan. So last words go to Ram from Kinneret College, and then we will have lunch. Just please, before we break for the lunch, which ends our day today, the subgrantees and partners and the companies for pitching, please stay here because we want to just do some photos, okay? So Ram, you have the last word.
Yes, I was the opening speaker, and so I have to be also the one that's summarizing. So first of all, thank you all for coming. I give you some of my conclusion from the joint project. I think it was an interesting experience, and also it was important the fact that we collaborate in an issue that we think we know all about, like water, with partners from other countries, showed me that in many cases cooperation really brings a lot, create a transfer of knowledge between communities. And this is something that I take from this project. Also, that some of the nice innovations that are carried out or innovated in Europe, we cannot still use it in Israel because of regulation. And there is a lot of regulation issues regarded to water issues, and also in the field of energy. And I hope that some of the regulations in Israel will be checked up and maybe eased a bit. So some new technologies that are still are covered under our catalog of technologies can be brought to Israel. So we still have a barrier for that. Also, we got some support along the way. We got great support from Professor Chezi Israeli. He's the founder and head of the tourism management department in Kinneret College, and so we had some luck. We got help from inside, and thank you very much. And I think we will be having a new project in the next call, hopefully, and continue with our cooperation. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone. So there's lunch, I'm assuming, where we had our break. So please help yourself. For those that I mentioned, if you could just stay for a few minutes, we want to do some photos. And thank you really to everybody for coming, and look forward to staying in touch. And again, good luck to everyone. Thank you.